Yeah, good morning, everyone. So I hope you remember what we were discussing earlier. We have stepped into class programming, which is the first concept of object-oriented programming, classes and objects, to give you the encapsulation. So here we are encapsulating in one single unit, which is user-defined type, the data and the actions to be performed on the data. So instead of repeating the stuff and boring you, what we will directly come to the coding part, the development part. So here we have already written a class which can represent a three-dimensional box. The moment I say it is a three-dimensional box, you should be able to visualize immediately the data members or the state, which is width and depth and height. If you don't add a constructor to this box class, 100% Java compiler will supply you with the default constructor. But what will be the values which will be assigned to width and depth and height? Answer that, please. It will be 0.0. So because the default constructor, the values of the instance variables are only initialized to defaults. And when customer wants to place an order for a particular box, of course, these default values are useless, pointless, right? So that is the reason we have provided a parameterized constructor. So why don't you look at the code parallelly? So here, this is where we started with the encapsulation. The keyword for encapsulation is class. This is a user-defined type, abbreviated as UDT. And this is where we start thinking in the data first. This is the special initializer method, which is called as the constructor. This is a parameterized constructor because I want to initialize the state of the box to a particular value, which user will supply. And I just wanted to show you the keyword by the name this. So what does this keyword represent? It represents current object reference. So you have seen there are two use cases of this keyword. You have seen one out of two. So what does that first, what is that keyword? When do you need to use this keyword? If your local variable name is same as instance variable name, and if you want to initialize it, we could not say height equal to height, because if you say that, of course, there won't be any errors such as compile time errors, runtime errors. But when you say height equal to height, you are referring to the method local variable. So how to unhide? How to specify that it is the instance variable I want to initialize? The instance variables come into the picture when the object is created in the heap. So this corresponds to current object reference, current box type of reference. So when you say this dot height, what does it refer to? Does it refer to method local variable or does it refer to the instance variable? Of course, it refers to instance variables, and this is the way to unhide, unshadow, to remove the ambiguity between the method local variable and the instance variable. But even when you write width equal to W, depth equal to W, depth equal to D, which is the implicit keyword compiler has already added, this dot width equal to W, this dot depth equal to D, meaning you are assigning or initializing state of the current box. Next is we started thinking about basic, very simple functionalities. In short, nothing but the behavior. So behavior is represented by methods. Here, you can write static methods also. You can write non-static methods also. Static keyword I'll explain tomorrow before we enter inheritance. Okay. So static means they are not associated with any object. But if you see the problem statement, if you see the objective, I want to I want to return the current box's dimensions. So answer me that. The box dimensions, are they the instance variable, non-static data members, or are they the static data members? S for static, NS for non-static. They are non-static data members as an instance variable. So that is why we have to write the non-static instance method. Okay, so this instance method will work on a particular copy. You'll see all this with the memory pictures in a couple of minutes. And here people were confused. Here I could have said, instead of getting the the dimensions, I could have said display box dimension and story over. It's just simply SOP the dimensions. But I want to show you there is a specific purpose. You will understand the purpose tomorrow or maybe day after. So the point is, here, when you say get box dimensions, I told you clear cut. So read the question problem statement. We wanted to return the box details in the string form. So what is the easy way to convert or to convert any data type to string? Simply concatenate it to a string. So see this. This is your return statement because this method has to return string which contains the dimensions. And you can see I'm starting with the string and then all I'm appending or concatenating is the 3 double dimensions. So answer this. This dot width is keyword this required or not required, mandatory or optional. M for mandatory, O for optional. Answer is optional. Only for your understanding I have written it. So whether you write it as width, depth and height, or whether you write it as this dot width, this dot depth, this dot height, it is the same. Next one. Next we wanted to, I just want to give you practice of writing a lot of methods. Today is going to be all that practice day and understanding class programming concepts. So here I wanted to get the computed volume. So I just added a getter, get box volume. And here we are returning the volume, which is nothing but a product of 3 dimensions. So this is what we had finished. This is what we had finished so far. Vinod, I have said it so many times. I wanted to return. You're talking about this, right? So how many dimensions you have? Is it a single dimension or are there 3 copies? 3 values are there. So how can I return 3? Answer is I can return it in a double array. But I have a requirement to give the one string which represents all the dimensions, because when I get to display, it becomes so clear. User will see the current box dimensions are width and depth and height. Guys, I have said all these things so many times, Prajakta. You are asking me to repeat the statements which I have already repeated 20 times. I said it does not matter whether you write this dot height or height. This keyword is required only when you have the ambiguity or the clash. So I'm saying it for the last time. I'm not going to repeat it next time again. So focus. Here I have written this dot width only for understanding purpose. Meaning, even if I remove it, will it work or will it not work? Will it give you the same output or different output? Same output. So I have made this statement 10 times already. So focus on that. Little bit of concentration is required. And first absorb what I'm saying. Don't be in a hyper mode, hurry mode just to get the questions asked. I have already explained everything about it. Okay, so let us move on. Otherwise, we'll never reach anything for today. So this one half was done already. Now I had already explained what is it we are going to do after the break. So here we are going to.
Ma'am, I'm sorry for interruption, but in the constructor parameters.
So you're not supposed to do that. You can raise a hand or you can do this, Shivani. Because,
okay,
it becomes, then everyone will start unmuting. Otherwise, we'll have to say that you can't unmute yourself at all. Write your query in the chat.
Yeah, ma'am, it was on the chat. I'll write it again.
Yeah. So because, lot of questions. So first focus on what is happening. And in the lab is the excellent time. You have code in front of you. You would have understood something. And then it becomes easier. Because otherwise, same questions, same things I'm repeating 20 times. Since we have taken height instead of h as a constant parameter, so we wouldn't have to mention this dot height while calculating volume. No, you are wrong, Shivani. It has nothing to do with each other. You are completely wrong. Here, the scope of these variables such as height or w or d is only limited to this constructor. So why you are confusing it with another method? Understand the concept of a method local variable. Tell me, Shivani, what is the scope of this particular variable? Is it available only in this constructor or throughout? Answer is only in this method, which I have already said in the earlier half, first half. So when you say here, this dot width, this dot depth and height, tell me, Shivani, which height I'm referring to. I want Shivani to answer, because but this is wasting a lot of theory session time, guys. Such questions I'm only going to take in lab. Otherwise, we cannot move ahead at all. Shivani, I'm waiting for your answer. I'll repeat the question. Yeah. So here, this is an instance variable. So why there is a confusion? I don't understand. Here, this was method local variable. I had to unhide this instance variable from method local variable. So the scope over, story over. So don't connect the things. This is a separate method. So whether I write this dot width, this dot depth, and this dot height, how does it matter? There is no collision, there is no ambiguity, there is no conflict. Only thing is here, the writing this keyword is totally optional. So I've already said this. You have to go through the understanding part. You have to try some hands-on and then you come out with better questions, but in the lab session. So please don't interrupt like this, because this becomes, it wastes a lot of time. And all these whatever specific questions, I'm not denying your questions, but when I have already explained it, I expect you to go over it and ask me in the lab session, please. That way. So otherwise we'll never move ahead, and we have a lot of concepts to cover every day in the Java. Otherwise we'll never complete the syllabus also. So here, going ahead, let me open that. What is the next thing we are going to do is, I had already explained it. So I expect people have gone over it, had understood it. So now what will start is, you will start dictating and I'll start writing. So is it compulsory to create a separate class to talk to the user, or can I mix it? No. Apologies and all are not required. Just remember it as a point. Okay. So is it compulsory to create a separate class? Of course not. But then why I'm insisting for the good design principles, standard design principles. So here, let's have a separation. Create a separate tester class, create box, and that we will use for the purpose of talking to user. What is it we are going to add? There is a main method. We will create your scanner. Ask user which are the box dimensions you want. Give me the dimensions of the box you want us to create. We will create the instance of the box using which keyword? Which is the keyword we are going to use? Complexity doesn't reduce it. It reduces the what do you say? Coupling. Coupling means the mixing up of the code. The new keyword, and then we are going to use our methods to compute the volume as to call that get box volume and get box dimensions. Okay, so let's start with that. So I'm creating a new one. You start dictating. More you participate, more you will understand. So tell me, do you require any import list? Of course, yes. What is it you are going to import is? This is going to talk to user. So scanner. If I make a spelling mistake, do tell me. So, and if I am if there is a glitch and all, then you unmute yourself and tell me that I was inaudible or whatever. Only in such cases, please. Then you have a class create box. Please follow the naming conventions to the T. Otherwise, the code doesn't look proper, doesn't look professional at all. Add static void main string array. Look at this. String array. Variable name can be anything. Okay. And here we are writing the comment first. So you will understand what is happening and then we'll write the code. So here, create scanners instance to wrap standard input. Okay, so this is what we are going to create. So here, scanner, all these reference types of variables and all, we are going to discuss in a couple of minutes. So then you will get the better clarity of this. This one I don't need to explain. Again, we have spent a lot of time on system and in and all that yesterday. And before we forget, close scanner at the before you terminate the application. So here we are having only main method. So before that, close the scanner to release the resources, to clean up the resources. But currently our scanner is holding only the system.in standard input, which is already opened. So it is not compulsory today. But when you attach the scanner to, let us say, data file or to socket object, so to some actual device, then it becomes compulsory. So these are all standard programming practices. If you take this code on ID and if you don't close the scanner, it will give you the warning, leaky resources, resource leakage. So we are avoiding all that. So close the scanner, and in between we are going to write our code. Okay, so what is the first thing I should do? So I have given you the basics. So here, what is the first thing I should do? I should prompt the user, enter the box dimensions. So SOP. And user doesn't know which order you require. So you have to identify. So width, depth, and height is the one we have used. Again, this is only a good programming practice. You should always write a user-friendly code. How will your user know whether user has to give the width first or depth first or height first? So always indicate to the user. Now whatever we are saying is absolutely important. So stop doing parallel things or whatever. Stop thinking about anything else and focus on the stuff. So before I write that important statement, let me just save it. File, save as. I'm already into pgdat day to src. I have already copied that createbox.java. I hope you are notice such things. I'm putting it in the quotes so that I don't get unnecessary .text extension. Okay. So now we start with the important concept. So tell me, you already know primitive Java data types, which is the other category, which is the second category, which we are going to enter here, the reference type of variables. Okay. So now we are entering the reference types. I mean, you might have heard it already, but I'm showing you for the first time. So under the reference type of variables or under the reference types, there are three subcategories. One is a class type of a reference. One is the array type of reference, which you have done already. And the third one is your interface type of a reference. Okay. So here I'm showing you class type of a reference variable. So here, see what I'm doing. What is the name of the class which we want to use? It's a box class. Okay. So here, let's say box1. Understand this carefully. So tell me, start answering the questions. What is box1? Is it a primitive type of variable, P, or is it a reference type of variable? Object, those who are saying 0 marks. Completely wrong. Where did I said object? Can you create object in Java without saying new? Of course not. Wrong, all wrong. So here you are creating. Okay, so I'll give in writing. Box1 is a reference type of variable. Okay. Now the next thing. Here, this is a reference type of variable. If you are coming from C++, in C++, the object is also local object is created. You are not learning C++ with me, you are learning Java. So in Java, when you say box1, it is a reference type of variable. But there are three subcategories of reference types. So is it a class type of reference? Is it an array type of reference? Or is it a interface type? So just ask yourself, what is box? Is it a class? Is it an array? Or is it an interface? It's a class. So this is a class type of a reference. I'm spending huge amount of time here. So follow my words. Follow in the sense, hear my words carefully. I'm giving you all possible details required. So class type of reference. And here, the next statement is, reference is going to actually hold the address of the object, which will be created in the heap. But tell me, when we write only this much, how many box type of objects are created in the heap? Answer is 0. 0 is the answer because all you have created is a pointer, is a reference type of variable. Object has not yet been created. So no objects created so far. Okay. Now, but when you declare a variable, such as let it be a primitive type of variable, such as, I'll give you an example. I'll write it in comment. See, everyone knows. What is this? This is nothing but okay, you tell me, what is data? Is it a primitive type of variable or is it a reference type? Quick answers. Primitive type. And now you are looking, so this was your example of a primitive type, which we spent yesterday in. This is your reference type of variable. So can you tell me where this reference type of a variable will be memory allocated? Your choices are stack, heap, or the method area. Those who are saying heap are still confused. I have written in black and white. No object is created. It's a reference type of variable. And understand me, guys. You tell me, is this a method local variable? Of course, yes. It has been declared inside a main method. And where are these method local variables kept? Within a stack frame, which is a part of the main stack. We spent so much time in JVM architecture. So this is a method local variable of the type reference type and which will be memory allocated. I'm continuing with this, memory allocated on the stack. I'm not going to stack frame detail. That stack, the main stack frame is pushed and within the main stack frame, a reference type of variable will be created. No object has been created so far. So delink, clear your background in C++ and learn Java with me. In C++ things are different. In Java things are different. So this is one of the difference between C++ versus Java. Anyway, I'm not highlighting that. So now let us see. Wake up and answer. When I say wake up and answer, I mean focus and then answer. If I say, for example, box 1, what will happen? Your choices are compile time error, runtime error, or nothing. I mean, none of above. Answer is, guys, when I have explained this point so much in detail and when you people give wrong answer, I really feel bad. Guys, method local variables are by default uninitialized. So tell me, have I initialized this variable? No. And the moment you try to access uninitialized variable, what will happen? Java compiler will shout that you are trying to access uninitialized variable. Okay, so of course this cannot happen. This will, I'm keeping it under comment. You can uncomment it whenever you reach the labs, or if you are typing parallelly with me, 100% it will produce a Java compiler error. So now here I want to, so which of the following has been done? Have we created box type of reference? Option 1. Box type of object? Option 2. Option 3 both. Option 4 neither. Choose the correct option. Option 1 is the correct option. You have just created a pointer, a reference type of variable, which can refer to or which will refer to a box type of object, but the object is not yet created. Okay, so now is the time to create an object. So here I'm writing from the RHS first. Okay, and the whole thing will become clear completely 100% when you start drawing the memory diagrams with me. So keep your writing material ready. Once the code is tested and running, we are going to step back and draw the memory pictures. So keep it ready. Now tell me, so left hand side, forget it, ignore. So now I want to create the object. So which is the operator to use for instantiation? New keyword. What follows after the new? New is going to allocate the sufficient memory to store the state of the object, plus it is going to call the constructor. So what is the name of the constructor? Box. Now answer this question. If I assign it to some LHS and if I try to call this constructor, compile time error or no error? Okay, the answer is compile time error. Tell me why. Yeah, you're right. Compile time error. Why compile time error? Because the moment you are trying to call a default constructor, and what does the rule say? The moment you add your own constructor, parameterized constructor, default constructor is taken away. Okay, so this will definitely produce compile time error. And anyway, we don't want this. So how many arguments you want us to pass here? Refer to the box class. Box class constructor requires how many arguments? 3 arguments. Okay, so let me open. Okay, you might, I hope you remember all that. Let me not waste time opening. So how many, what are the data types of the arguments? Anyone? What is the data type? Double. So which is the method of the scanner to read the double value, to parse the token into double value? The name of the method, please. SC dot. Okay, next double is the method name. Absolutely right. So here I'm saying SC dot next double. Okay. So this is where I read the first token, and scanner will parse it into a double value. So this is where I read the width, then the depth, and then the height. So now answer. When this RHS, it is always right associative. Right associative means what? First, the RHS, right hand side of the assignment is executed, and then it is assigned to LHS. So answer the question, please. When this RHS is executed, are there any objects going to be created in the heap, or no objects still? I'll repeat my question. I said, after the RHS is executed, how many objects will be created in the Java heap? I changed my statement. 1 is the correct answer. But guys, slow down. Can an object be created before its prototype gets loaded in the method area or in the memory? Of course not. Object cannot exist without the class. So, since this is the first object, first box object we are creating, this will be preceded by, what it will be preceded by? A class information. The box class information will get loaded in the method area, and then its instance will be created in the heap. So what happens internally is, all this you are going to draw in memory pictures with me. So box class gets loaded in where? In the method area, and then its instance is created in the heap. Now, whatever I was saying in the first half, morning half, class, the prototype, its instance will start making sense. So here, box type of object is definitely going to be created in the heap. And suppose user gives me the dimensions as 11, 12, 13 as a triplet. What will be stored in that object is 11.0, 12.0, 13.0, because it is double. Are you getting it? Now the next important question. What does a new operator return? I've talked about it already. Abhijit, you are lost. You are not creating the instance of the create box. You are creating the instance of the box. So remove your confusion. Focus. Tell me, what does a new operator return? The reference, the address where the box object is created. And which is the reference type of variable we have already declared? Box1. So here, when you say box1, what is happening? The address, wherever this box object is created, internal representation of the object, address, that is copied into box1. So what is box1? As a reference type of a variable going to hold? The value, that is the dimensions, or the address, V or A, value or the address. Of course, the address, and address of the box object, which is going to be created at the runtime. Dynamic means at the runtime, and it is going to sit in the heap. So you will say, why you are troubling us by writing 2 statements? Can I combine these 2 statements into one? Of course, yes. Box, and this is what you have been doing. With understanding or without understanding, I don't know. But you have been doing. So likewise, I could have said, box1 equal to new box, sc dot next double, etc. but then you lose the chance of understanding the difference between a reference and the object. So tell me once again, those who are still lost, confused, I am not so clear. What is this RHS? Will you label it as a reference or will you label it as an object? What will you call it? This is the object which is getting created in the heap. And what will you call box one? It's a reference type of a variable. And which type of a reference is it? Is it class type of reference, array type of reference, or interface? Of course, it is a class type of reference. So when you say box one, what it means is this reference can refer to any box type of object. Okay. Further clarity, full clarity. If you have understood something like 20%, 30%, it will increase to 100% when you start drawing the memory pictures. But after 2 minutes, I mean after 5-10 minutes. Okay. So now this is done. So if you visualize your stack, heap, and method area, right now visualize because little later we are going to draw that. What will be there in the stack? Tell me. What will you expect to see in the stack? Reference type of variable, box one. Perfect. What do you expect to see in the heap? Box type of object. And what do you expect to see in the method area? Which class would be loaded for that? No. Which class would be loaded for that? Box.class. Okay, the box information. Of course, somebody was asking me, I forgot the name. How about create box? Everything starts by loading the create box because we are going to say soon Java C that create box.java and we are going to launch Java followed by create box. Okay, so that will get loaded. But when I create the first object, the box class gets loaded and its instance is created. So don't get confused between box and a create box. Those are different classes. Okay, now I want the next thing done. I want you to print box dimensions. Okay, so I will write something and you please tell me what will happen. You don't give your answer, you might keep it ready, but I'm not looking at your answer. So suppose, because people are solid confused here from the questions, I can feel that. Suppose I say here this. So print box dimensions, and if I simply say SOP width, what will happen? Quick response. No, I don't buy this answer error. You need to be perfect. Compile time error or runtime error? C or R? Runtime error, wrong answer. This is a syntactical error. Here, think like compiler. First, you are going to compile the code, guys. So compiler will check, is there any width declared here? There is no width declared here. So 100% you will get a compile time error. Okay. So I said, fine. Now I got my mistake. So, okay, fine. So now I'll say box1.width. Or okay, sorry. I'll say box.width. So tell me, what will happen? Answer is compile time error. Why? Because why? You're right in saying compile time error. Why? I want to know why. It should not be just a fluke. Wrong. All answers are wrong. Not static. Exactly. Somebody said not static. Guys, you are referring as a class name dot member name. So tell me, is width the static data member or non-static data member? It is a non-static. So how can you access it with the class name dot member name? Not possible. And ultimately, I'm asking you, what will happen? Again, the answer is the same. Compile time error. Answer is compile time error. Why compile time error, Girish? Because what is the scope of the width in the box class? It is private. Can you access a private member outside the class? Of course not. So this will also give you compile time error. Okay. So we are out of choices. I'm out of choices. Can you give me the answer? I want to print all the box dimensions. So can I do that? Answer is yes, you can. So how? No, just don't tell me yes. Tell me how. Yes, you have written the method for communicating between different classes. So which is the method we have written, guys? Get box dimensions. Get box dimensions method, is it private or is it with a default scope? Answer is default. And we are sitting in the same package, same folder. So what will happen if I say box1 dot get box dimensions? Compile time error or no error? Just a second. I will open somewhere that box also, because I might be making the spelling mistakes and all that. So I hope I did not mess up. Get box dimensions. Anyway, I don't want to leave it to the chance. So here, in between questions, I'm not having, because it slows down the whole process, and mostly I've already answered whatever you need to know, Ayush. So give me some time. So get box dimensions. This is what we are calling. How it happens, you have yet to see the memory picture. So hold on to your questions till then. Now, will this compile at all? Of course, yes. The access specifier for get box dimensions is default. So this will definitely compile. Okay. Now, I want to do the last thing before we test the code and compile the code and all that. And then will be the memory picture, and then you will get the complete clarity. Okay. So now I want to print the computed, or okay, forget the complex words, the box volume. Give me the code. Yes, please. So can I directly access any of the state? It is all tight encapsulation, so it is not possible. So how to do that? You have to call the method. Which method we have written? Which is the instance method we have written? We have written the method here, get box volume. I just copied it so that I don't waste time in spelling mistakes. I don't have the ID here today. That's why. So here, just pass it through the SOP. Indentation is a pain here. System.out.println. And here I want to say, you have to write, think of customer all the time. You are writing it, you are getting a business from your customers. You have to make him happy. So the volume of the box is, if I just write this much, of course it will give me compiler error. Compiler will check in this class, is there any method get box volume? No. So you have to, if I do this, what will happen? Box.get box volume. I'm asking you the same type of questions 20 times so that everyone gets understanding. Compile time error, because it's not a static method. So I'll have to use the reference type of variable, and then we will see whether it works at all. So have a quick recap without going into too much of details. Take it from the top. So here, the first thing, I wanted to access the scanner, which is out of java.lang package, so import. Next one is, for the purpose of separation, box related features we have encapsulated in the box class, and the user interface, the driver code, the tester code, we have kept it separately, client code you can say. So you have a main method, which is a starting point, created the scanner, wrapping the system.in, so that whatever you write in the, whatever you type in from keyboard will be added in the scanner's buffer. This is where we are releasing the resources by closing the scanner. Here you are asking the user to prompt the box dimensions. Here, reference type of, are we creating a reference or are we creating an object, or both? Only reference type of variable is created. And because it is a method local variable, means the variable which is declared within the method is a method local variable. So let it be a primitive type or let it be a reference type, where they will get memory allocated. They will get memory allocated on the stack. And important question, popular question, how many bytes will be memory allocated on the stack for storing a reference type of variable? Answer is as per JVM specification. If you are using 32-bit JVMs, typically it uses 4 bytes. If you are using 64-bit JVM, another one. So how many bytes memory will be allocated on the stack as per, how many bytes? All of this, whatever I'm saying, I'm writing. So don't wait for the recording to reach you. Just go through the readmes and go through the code and you can revise everything, whatever I have said. So how many bytes? Answer to that is as per JVM specification. Okay. So the reference type of variable is nicely memory allocated and kept on the heap. I'm so sorry, kept on the stack. My mistake, my bad. So here, so this is done. So if you uncomment it, you have got a uninitialized. Whatever you keep on the stack, whatever is the method local variable is by default uninitialized. So this will give you 100% Java compiler error. So now go ahead. Now I want to talk to user. I have already prompted user. So I'm taking these dimensions from the user. Scanner is the excellent text-based parser, converts it. And here is where using the new keyword, the memory allocation will begin. But guys, instance cannot be created, object cannot be created before its prototype or without its prototype. So what happens first is the box class gets loaded, the bytecode file which will be creating using Java compiler. So that box class information will be loaded in the method area and then its instance will be created in the heap. How? Memory pictures will tell you. And then you are trying to just access some of the utility methods, some of the business logic. And that simple business logic, simple behavior is getting the box dimensions and printing it and printing the computed volume. So this is what we have done so far. So let me share if anyone is typing along or anyone wants to test along with me. I'm sending you both the files, box also, so that you can do the compilation and all that. After volume, okay, I'll just check. Yes, give me a second. I read your chat message just now. If I made a spelling mistake, just a second. I'm sending box.java to you all, so that at least if you want to compile it with me, because yesterday so many of you are wasting so much of time in compilation. I've sent to everyone, right? So what you are saying is remove this volume. Oh yeah. Okay. So what you, yes, it wouldn't have cost too much of this thing, but still you are right. It would have just added an extra code. So, but thanks for pointing out. Okay. So this is done. You remove it from my downloaded code, right? So that's it. Now let's enter the compilation. Guys, it's not such a difficult thing at all. So we keep it simple. Tell me, anytime I say compile, which folder without ID, because Monday onwards it is full ID. So tell me, which is the folder you should go to for compilation, SRC or bin? Everyone understands it? So guys, you don't have to open 20,000 command prompts. Just do it once. So here, go to your day 2 ka SRC, CMD. And see, all these instructions in so much detail I did not give you because yesterday I thought you are already familiar with it. So today I'm doing better. I hope I'm doing better. Okay. So now everyone knows the basic part. Java C space -d to specify the name of the directory where you want to create the .class files, right? And that is going to be your bin. Guys, I'm saying there is a tab key on your keyboard. So when I say tab it, I mean press the tab key for auto completion. Why do you want to type so much? Next thing. And now comes the name of the source file. So I have a question. Should I compile box.java, create box.java, both or neither? You're absolutely right in answering only create box.java because Java compiler understands the dependencies. So create box is dependent on box. So the moment it comes to the line, wherever we are creating box type of reference, it will automatically compile. So see what I'm doing. I'm simply saying CRE, tabbing it. I hate typing. I don't know about you. So create box.java. And see, this is the first time I'm showing you writing the source. Writing the code in 2 different files. But still, it did not give you any problems because you are in the same folder, same package. Soon that will change. Okay, so this is it. Now, where are these? Okay, I'll say dir. Dir is like ls command in Unix. It is for listing the directory contents, folder contents. So here you can see .java. Where would be our .class files? Under the bin folder. So cd to that. Sorry. cd is change directory. Two dots, take it to the parent folder. And here again, I'm changing the directory to bin, clearing the screen. And here, if you see the contents, what do you expect to see? Box.class, create box.class, both or neither. When I say dir, what is it you expect to see? Both. You understand this fully? Now tell me, out of that, if I write, okay, if I write Java and box, what will happen? Runtime error or the output? Runtime error, because there is no main method. Somebody said output, wake up. There is no main method in the box class. So which is the class is runnable? Runnable means which is the one which I can start, which contains the main method is create box. So I'm clearing the screen again and I'm saying Java create box. Why you should not add the dot class extension? That answer I'll be able to give you after we enter the packages. So don't expect now. So here, so this is coming to that prompt. So here, no objects have been yet created. Okay, scanner object is created, but don't focus on scanner. Focus on our boxes. So it is prompting, it is telling first enter width, depth and height. So the default delimiter is space. So I can say 11. I mean, I'm just taking some values. Of course, if you want to say that, okay, you have used double, so why don't you use it? I can use that. Okay, so there are 3 dimensions I'm supplying, width, depth and height. And here, look at the output. It's a very simple output. Just tell me, working or not working? Is it giving you the correct output or not? Of course, it is giving you correct output. If you don't want to multiply such this, you can go for a simple ones and you can find out that your code is working perfectly. With me so far? Okay. So now is the time we draw memory pictures and understand it inside out. So here, I'm going to take this code and okay, I'll take just the relevant code, or I can write it also. I'm going to take this. So there should be always, code and the memory diagram together. So I'm opening it now. This will be shared as a whiteboard, but I'm telling you, do not be lazy. Laziness can kill you. Okay. So get up, wake up and start drawing it with me. So here is this is the title. I'm not writing. It is just an explanation of memory picture. So here, let me just copy that code. And since there is too much of explanation and all that, I'll just remove this explanation here so that, you can look at the concise code. Okay. So here, this is the simple code which we have written. And now we will see what is the memory picture it produces. So this is the input. So when I say draw a memory diagram, please draw 3 headers, 3 categories, stack, heap, and method area. Label that. Since I'm doing this with you for the first time, stack. So this stack belongs to which thread? Main thread or garbage collector thread? We have not even talked about garbage collector. So leave it aside. This is your main stack. And this is corresponding to your main stack tree. So I'm not writing so many things. Just think of it as a main method ka stack. Okay. So here, then is the heap and then is your method area. Fine. Now, because without that, impossible to get the clarity. So this is the only way I explain. Now start solving the line by line. You have drawn this, I hope. I'm telling you, whole of this will be shared as today's whiteboard. But it's best to draw it yourself. You can start understanding it in a much better manner. So don't be lazy. Going ahead. So now our focus is on this. So does anyone want to tell me what will be the memory output of this line? Which line I'm talking about? The first line, box 1. Where should I show this? In the stack, in the heap, in method area. Everyone understands it, in the stack. Guys, for creating a reference type of variable, box class will not get loaded because it is just a reference type of variable like a pointer. So please show it in the stack. And the variable name is box1. Okay. What is the type of box1? Box1's type is box, meaning it can refer to only any box type of object. That's the meaning of it. So this is the only thing. And how many bytes are memory allocated for this? You can say confidently to the interviewer as per the underlying JVM specification, which could be 4, 8, 16 as per the native JVM, as per the platform specific JVM. So this is your box1. What is the value it is initialized to? Answer is nothing. It is by default uninitialized. That is why you cannot access it. Okay, so this statement done. Now let us solve. I'll just change the color. So let us solve the RHS of this. Okay, so this is the RHS which I'm solving. Got it, guys? Now, so here, let us imagine, I'll just write something. So here, let's say the values. The values which user had given, the triplet user had given me was maybe 10, 20, 30. Just keeping it simple. Are you understanding? I said, enter the dimensions. And suppose user gives me this triplet 10, 20, 30. These are my inputs. So now, here is where the object is to be created. But what has to be preceded by the, for the object creation? A class has to be loaded. So now, here, don't show the object here directly. Object cannot exist without its prototype, without its template. So here, you can show in the method area, which class is going to be loaded here? Anyone wants to tell me? Box.class or createBox.class? Guys, createBox class has been already loaded the moment you launch the JVM. You say Java createBox, so that is loaded. So that I have not drawn. Here show box class. Box class information loaded. What does it consist of? It consists of static data members. Currently, there are no static data members, but it will contain the code for methods. You remember that get box dimension, get volume, etc. Methods as well as constructors. The entire code is sitting here. This is like a code segment. Okay, so this class has been loaded. Anyone wants to answer how many times this box class will get loaded in the method area? Once, see, one answer is not sufficient. So once per instantiation or exactly once in the entire JVM? Answer is once exactly in the JVM. Some of you are saying once per object creation. You will understand your mistake soon. Now, the prototype information is loaded. So are we ready now to create an object in the heap? Very much yes. So now start drawing. This is an extreme, okay, see, typically in the books and all, they don't mention it in so much detail, but as a Java developer, you should know it properly. So let's start drawing. So any object, if you have done arrays, ma'am must have already told you, what is the first slot of any Java object? What is the first slot of any Java object? No, absolutely not. Size is the wrong thing. Okay, so since you're not giving the answer, maybe I'll discuss it. So the first slot for the object is going to be a special type of a pointer called as class pointer, hereafter referred as CP. So this class pointer, see the word class pointer, apply your smartness, common sense. Anyone wants to guess where this class pointer will point to? Where this class pointer will point to? The method area where this class information is loaded. Okay, so that is the first slot. What is the next slot then? So before I draw the next slot, you tell me, which of the following will be memory allocated on the heap? Will it be the state of the object or will it be the behavior, or both or neither? Answer is behavior is already loaded here. So now it is the only state. And what is the state of the object? Non-static data members. So which is the non-static data member? Width, depth, and height. So what are the values user has given? 10, 20, 30. So here, which values? 10.0, 20.0, and 30.0. Okay, so this is what I meant when I said the loaded class information is in the method area, and the state of the object, the instance variables, are memory allocated here. So if you ask, if I ask you, how many bytes, what will be the size of the object? See, class pointer as per the JVM specification. So suppose if I say 4 bytes are allocated. One double is how many bytes? 8 bytes. So 8 threes are 24 plus whatever required for class pointer, maybe 4, 8 or whatever. So 24 for plus class pointer will be the number of bytes memory allocated. Is there any size of operator in Java? Answer is no, because memory management is totally removed from your control. It is all internally managed by the JVM. Okay, so draw a box around this to indicate the box type of object and show the pointers correctly. So this is loading to, this is referring to this. And if you want to draw the arrows, this is where it is. I think you will understand that much. So this is that state information, and a special type of a pointer, class pointer. Internal details are a little more complex. I'm trying to give you a simpler view, the one which developer needs. Now this is what is the significance output of the RHS. Now tell me, what does a new operator return? Address of this box object. And when I say box1 equal to, how do I show it? Link it. So here, this box1 starts pointing to the box object, which is created, memory allocated on the heap. So this is the significance of these two lines. Spend half a minute with yourself. Tell me, clear or not clear so far? Is the memory picture? I was telling you to hold on with your questions till I get a chance to draw the memory picture. Shubham, I said this. Size of the class pointer references are all JVM specific. I mentioned that already. Okay, so now this is it. This is it means this is the output of output of whatever lines. Now let me write some more code. So I'm not going to write. Actually, I'm going to copy. So here, let me copy one line. You also do the similar things, guys, to stay in tune. So I just wanted to create some space. Okay. So now let me add a line here. So we have understood. I hope you have understood. If you need, I will do the revision in the lab when there is a code in front of you. That is the reason I shared code with you. So you can relate to it. But if you have not opened your laptops and desktops and you're just listening to it, that will not help you. So get rid of that habit totally. Coming back. So these two lines are done. Now it becomes so interesting to understand the actual internals. So here is it. It is everything goes from inner to outer. So first let us solve this part. Okay. Now start tracing the whole flow with me. Here it is box1 dot get box dimensions. So here is your box1. So from box1, we reach the object in the heap. But tell me, the code for this get box dimensions, is it present here? Answer is no. So that is where your class pointer is used. So using the class pointer, it will invoke the method which is part of your box class, which is get box dimensions. So now guys, please open get box dimensions method. And now all those ambiguities regarding this or not this and whatever will get resolved. So the control comes here. Are you understanding? From box 1, you reach the object. From object, you reach the, using the class pointer, you reach this code. Is everyone with me so far? Are you clear so far? Okay. So now, in this case, here, when the control comes here to this return statement, first the string is getting created. And now, when you say plus width, which width are we talking about? Which is the implicit keyword here, which is added implicitly? This keyword. But here, guys, look at the memory picture. Which is the current object reference? Box 1. So here, the value of this is box 1. Means what? We are referring to the current triplet, which is this dot width, this dot depth, and this dot height. I'll repeat the last statement again. Open the code. Stay with me. You have to understand code and the concept. You can't just focus on one thing. Control reaches this method and this method. And when you call width and depth and height, it is implicitly what? This dot width, this dot depth, this dot height. But what is this? This is the current object reference, which is nothing but box 1. So here it will pick up current box's width, depth, and height, and that concatenated string will be returned as the result of this code. And then once you get a string, all you are doing is printing the string to access the box dimensions. So this is how the method execution completes. The method code is taken from the method area. And when you are using the copy which says width and depth and height, the state or the instance variable values is picked up from the heap. And that is what completes the call. So this is what I explained. The next thing I want you to explain. So give me a sec. I'm going to copy this and you are going to check it out. So I don't have space here. I'll just write it below this. Okay. Oh, I got a different color. Anyway, doesn't matter. So tell me, start answering the questions. So first you should go from inside out. Go from inner to outer. So start discussing things with me. When you say box 1, where is our box 1? Stack, heap, or method area, SHM? Which one? It is box 1. So from box 1, when you say get box volume, you reach the object. Is there any method definition of get box volume here? There is no space allocated here. So what it will use? It will use the special type of a pointer, class pointer. And then it will call the method which is loaded in the box class. So please open box.java. And this is where the control reaches here. Understood so far how the control has reached here? This is the method which is called from the method area. But now see what you have written here. Here we are referring to this dot width, this dot depth, this dot height explicitly because there were so many confusing questions in between, even after I had said all this. So whether you write this dot width or whether you drop this keyword, result is the same. Implicitly, it is going to refer to the current box's width, depth, and height. So what is it? It is going to multiply 10 into 20 into 30. And whatever is that computed volume 600.0, that is what is going to be returned to the caller. And once you say the control comes back to the main, and when it comes system.out.println volume, it is what it is going to print the volume, computed volume, and show it to the user. So I'll stay quiet for a minute. You just play it in your own mind. Only 4 statements you have to understand. Reference variable creation, creating the object and assigning it to the reference type of variable, and using a reference type of variable, invoking the methods. Work it out. in your own manner if it is sufficiently clear. Understood the discussion of the method area and the stack and the heap and their, what do you say, association with each other? I'll know it very, very quickly, very easily. Okay, so now continue writing the code. Okay, so let me see if there is a specific question. Computed value is stored on the, anyone wants to answer her? This value is returned. So this value will be returned where? Anyone wants to answer? Wrong answer, Prashant. Guys, you're still so confused. Here, where is this whole thing happening? Within a method. So it is a method local variable. So this returned value is stored as a temporary variable within the main stack heap. I'm so sorry, main stack frame. So the answer to your question is that is stored in a stack. All the local variables are stored in the stack. So that was the answer, not heap. So heap is only object creation. After drawing the diagram, have I shown anything else such as computed volume? This is only thing which happens. And all these results of computed volume are all here on the stack. Now, I will write some code and you will help me. Actually, just a second. I will just shift this slightly so that I get space. I want to write some more code and check your understanding. You also write it with me. Otherwise, it becomes difficult to understand. So I'm saying here, box B2 is equal to new box. And let's say 1, 2, 3. So this is the next question for you. Type it out in wherever you are drawing it and all. And here, instead of doing the job in 2 steps, now I'm doing the job in the single step. So have you written this down? Box B2 equal to new box 1, 2, 3. So tell me, what will execute first, LHS or RHS? It is all right associative. It is the right hand side which executes. So here, as always, we are solving the RHS part. Here I'm hard coding the values. If you want, you can always attach, take it from scanner. Point is not, point is memory pictures. So tell me, what is happening on the right hand side? Is it a reference creation or is it an object creation? R or O? It's an object getting created. But what is the precursor? What is the prerequisite of an object? Class. So tell me, will your box class will get loaded again or not? Answer is of course not. Somebody had answered. When I asked how many times class loading will happen, somebody said per object. Wrong answer. Class gets loaded exactly once, and one of the triggers for class loading is first instance creation. So your JVM sees that there is already the box class loaded. So tell me, what will JVM do? It will directly start by creating the box class instance. So draw with me. So draw a picture in the heap. So what all should I show? What will be the first slot? CP, class pointer. And which values are given 1, 2, 3. So 1.0, 2.0, sorry, 3.0. This is the second separate instance, distinct instance. Anyone wants to tell me, what will this class pointer refer to? Yes, per JVM, absolutely, somebody said. Yeah, so here the answer is to the same box class, loaded box class. So now are you understanding? One class like that blueprint produced by the architect can result into multiple houses, multiple instances. So you can keep creating multiple objects of the box depending on whatever customer wants. And to complete the story, now the RHS is executed completely. But what is this RHS returning? Sorry, what is this new keyword returns? What does it return? The address. And what have you equated, assigned it to box B2? So where should you, but this code is written in a main method. So, okay, I'm asking you clear, crisp questions. Answer me. What is B2? Your choices are primitive type or reference type, P or R. It's a reference type of variable. Is it a method local variable or is it an instance variable? Answer is instance. You are saying, guys, you have declared this in a main method. It's a method local variable. So where should I show it allocated? SHM, SH or M on the stack. So show, I lost that here. Anyway, so here you show another this B2. And where will be this B2 pointing to? Anyone wants to answer? Simple question, simple answer. This will be pointing to another object which you have created on the heap. So here, when you write this much in one statement, first the object is created, class was already loaded, and then its reference is returned, and that reference value is stored into the variable, in the local variable, which is of the type not primitive but reference type. Are we understanding it with more code and more memory diagrams? I'm going to give you loads of practice, lot of practice, because this is a key concept. If you don't understand the difference between a reference and object, everything is like lost. Okay, so, and we are just getting started. Okay, so this is the picture. So now when I say, listen to the complete my story. So when I say here, I'm just writing in short forms, SOP is system.out.println. And if I say B2 dot get box dimensions, because you know that is what gives you the understanding of what is happening, and then it will start making you less confused. So start with me. I'm saying B2. So when I say B2, it goes here. From B2, it reaches the object. But the code, the method is not here. So using the class pointer, again it goes to the same loaded class and calls the method. Which method it will call? Get box dimensions. Open the method again. I've done it already, but I'm again doing it for the sake of 100% clarity. So again, the control reaches here. Can you see the behavior is common, same behavior. But now tell me, when I say width and depth and height, what does it implicitly call? This dot width, this dot height, this dot depth. And what is the value of this time? Is it box 1 or is it B2? Of course it is B2. So which triplet will it pick up? Will it pick up 10, 20, 30 or will it pick up 1, 2, 3? Of course it is going to pick up your next triplet, which is 1, 2, 3. And this is what is the significance of this dot width. This is corresponding to B2 now. So B2's width, B2's height, B2's depth will be created. And that will be displayed to the caller. Understanding? Better clarity? Feeling better? I'm telling you, give yourself and myself some time. All you need is practice and hearing the things and trying it out. Don't expect that I show you something today and the next minute you understand. Things don't happen that way. You need time, especially if you are a fresher. Okay, so give yourself time. Don't pressurize yourself. Okay, so this was the story so far. Now, let us do another interesting thing. I always like to write the code and then explain the internal concept. So now add another line of a code, please. Okay. Okay. So here I'm saying, look at this, write it down, because then only you can, put it a code and the concept together. B3 equal to, let's say, B1. Write the code, I'll wait for you. Box B3 equal to B1. This is another difference between C++ versus Java. In C++, I don't want to say and confuse people. I'm just going to talk in Java. So here, look at this statement, a very important, all these are very popular questions, very basic but popular questions, conceptual questions you are asked most in interviews. Okay, so here, what is happening? I'm giving you the choices, pick up the choice. I'm making your life easy by giving you choices. So when this line is executed, which of the following will happen? Option 1, box class gets loaded in the method area. Correct or wrong? Option 1, correct or wrong? Wrong. Okay. Another box object gets created in the heap. Right or wrong? Correct or wrong? Answer is, if you are coming from C++, in C++ answer would have been yes, correct. In Java, it is the copy of references. Unless and until you use the new keyword. Guys, JVM requires a command, an instruction, create a new object. So have I used any new keyword here? I haven't. So what JVM does is, JVM says I don't have to create a new object at all. All it does is copying of address. So listen to this carefully. No new class gets loaded in the method area, obviously. But no new object gets created in the heap also. But now tell me, what is B3? B3 is a reference type of a variable and it is a method local declared within the main method. So can anyone tell me, where should I show B3? Your options are SHM, stack, heap or method area. Of course, stack. So please show B3 here. And now see the statement. I said B3 equal to B1. But now tell me, oh, sorry, my spelling, writing mistake. As it is, you are confused. And if I make such things, you'll be further confused. Let me correct. What I meant was box 1, naturally. There's no B1. I'll get a compiler error. Okay. This is what I meant actually. My bad. Anyway, so box 1. So now tell me, what is box 1 holding? Is it the address or is it the value? It's the address. So guys, it is copy of references, copy of address. So imagine this was holding a value. Suppose this object was created in the heap at the address 12345. Okay, so this 12345 address is copied into B3. Means what? Where will B3? What will B3 contain? The same address. Means what? B3 will also start pointing to a newly created box or the earlier created box. N for new, E for early, earlier created. And box 1 or box 2. Of course, I've said here box 1. So here, see this. Do it with the memory diagram. That is the only way to survive in Java. So if you want to understand it inside out, and that is how we are going to do it from the day 1 to the end of the day. End of your advanced Java. So box 1 and B3. So how many objects and how many references are we having in the whole picture? You are having 2 objects. And how many references? 3 references here. So when I say box B3 equal to box 1, which of the following is happening? Copying of the references or copying of the objects, or both or neither? What is it we are doing? Copying of the references. And what is reference holding? An address. So one address is getting copied into another one so that both of them, box 1 as well as B3, start pointing to the very same box object. Clear with me? Clear so far along with the code and the memory picture, guys? So once again, I'm telling you, be little patient and give me sufficient time. All your doubts are going to get resolved. I don't know whether today or tomorrow or day after, but I'm giving you guarantee they will be resolved. That is how it happens. Okay, so now let's go ahead and write something more. So here you tell me, if I write SOP B3 dot get box dimensions. You know the whole story. I'm going to repeat it so many times that finally you'll be frustrated and say, okay, we are bored. We know what you're saying. till then. Okay, so this is what it is, B3 dot get box dimensions. So start the navigation. So you start with B3. So from B3, B3 is what? Just a pointer to this first box object. You reach the first box object. From the class pointer, the method will get called from here, which is get box dimensions. But if you open that get box dimensions, we are simply accessing this dot width or width, depth and height. So whose width? This time, what is the value of this? Value of this is B3, which is same as box 1. So which triplet will it print? 10, 20, 30 or 1, 2, 3? Obviously 10, 20, 30. And guys, important statement I'm making. Whether you access the state of this object with box 1 or its copy B3, how does it matter? The state is the same, meaning the output which you got for box 1 dot get box dimensions, will it be same as this output or different? S or D? 100% same, because both of these pointers, both of these references are referring to the very same copy. Still clear? Still with me? Are we? Okay. So this is what, you know, makes it like incremental understanding. Little tiny steps I'm taking to make you understand. Now, since there is no space, I'm just writing horizontally. So I'll add a next line here. So now if I say why I'm writing horizontally, which is a bad practice, to fit it in the whiteboard. That is it. Otherwise, later somebody will have a question that why suddenly she's writing it horizontally. So if I say now box 1 equal to null. So before I say anything further, box 1 is a reference type of a variable. So if you make this as box 1 equal to 0, you will get a compile time error. Okay. Reference type of variables can either can contain the address. So the value, if you want to initialize, cannot be 0. There is a keyword. All Java keywords are all lowercase. So if you write uppercase null, it will be all wrong. So I said box 1 equal to null. So I'm nullifying. I'm writing this statement. It's a very, very interesting and important conversation. So focus. So after now let me see your whatever gut feel. So when you say box 1 equal to null, what do you think will happen in the memory? How should we show it in the memory? You understand what I'm saying? I have executed this line, box 1 equal to null. Let me see what happens. Dereferencing, delinking is a very right answer. So, okay, let me give you choices, guys. Will this box class get unloaded from the method area? Capital no. I mean, absolutely no. Will any of these objects get affected? Answer is no. But now, what was, okay, before this line was executed, what were the contents of box 1? Some address, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But now I'm nullifying it. So, listen to the interesting questions people ask you, trick questions. Can one Java object have multiple references? It's a Boolean question. Can one Java object have multiple references? Don't go by the tone of the question, go by your understanding. Of course, yes. See, this was one Java object, and which were two references? Box 1 and B3 were happily pointing to the same. So one Java object can have multiple references. Its address, you can copy it into so many variables. But converse, can one reference have multiple values? Can it point to multiple objects? This answer is no. So show it properly. When I say box 1 equal to null, how will you show it in the memory diagram? So here you initialize box 1 equal to null. Okay. And what it means is you take your eraser or whatever and do the delinking, dereferencing. So now box 1 is no longer pointing to this box type of object. And this is the disassociation. This is what we have dereferenced. We have delinked. We have removed the link between box 1 and the box type of object. So this is the impact of the statement box 1 equal to null. Clear so far? Okay. Next line. Again, unfortunately, I'm writing horizontally. You know why. So here, now if I write, for example, I don't want to do this. Anyway, I think I hate typing it again. Suppose I take this, Suppose I write this here. Okay, I'll fit it here. Look at the question. Don't go by whatever I tried. So I said box 1 equal to null. And then I said SOP, system.out.println, box 1 dot get box dimensions. What will happen? Your choices are, this contains the value of the reference. You're right. Okay. This is equal to current object reference. So your options are compile time error, runtime error, or the output. Answer is, let me see what you are answering first. Answer is, no, wrong answer. Runtime error. Nobody said runtime error. Guys, it is not a compile time error. I'll tell you why. Because compiler does not understand about class loading, object creation. Everything happens dynamically at the runtime in Java. So compiler, it is beyond the compiler to understand. Okay. But at the runtime, see what is happening. Trace it yourself. You are trying to call a method, a function on the null type of reference. So 100% JVM will throw the most famous, most common exception you encounter is null pointer exception. So it is a runtime error. Anytime you are trying to access any method or any data member using a null type of reference, all you will get is a null pointer exception. See, first I'm explaining this time with the code, and after giving you some 5-10 minutes breather, we will come back and we'll actually type it and we'll confirm what I said is correct or not. So mention here, this will definitely produce your null pointer, a runtime error. Exception is a runtime error. So this produces, the name of the package is java.lang and the name of the exception is null pointer exception. Just give me a second here. I'm so sorry. So what we were saying is, this is definitely going to give you a runtime error, or exception is nothing but a runtime error. So null pointer exception will be thrown. And since we have not done any try catch, any exception handling, we have not yet done. The moment there is a runtime error, if I write any code further, will it get executed or will the code get aborted? C for continuation, A for aborting. Of course, the code gets aborted. Okay, but I wanted to mention that point, that anytime you try to access anything with null, 100% null pointer exception is guaranteed. Okay, so I can't continue the discussion. So let's say we have commented this. So I'm adding a comment here. Otherwise, my code simply doesn't continue. Now, important question again. After this line, if I write now, I'm writing it actually. If I write, what is that? SOP p3 dot get box dimensions to keep the answer ready. So what will happen? Compile time error, runtime error, or the output? The whole memory picture is in front of you. So none of you should make mistake. Output, runtime error. Rishikesh, it is wrong. Guys, B3 is still validly pointing to this box object. So no compile time error, no runtime error, and the output. And what output you will get? 10, 20, 30 or 1, 2, 3? Of course, 10, 20, 30. Are you getting it? So when you see this dot width, this is replaced by B3. So it is B3 dot width, B3 dot depth, B3 dot height. And you will 100% get the output as 10, 20, 30. I'm just mentioning it ahead of time so that you know. So when you run this, you'll definitely get, I mean, when I say 10, what I mean is 10.0, 20.0, and 30.0. Okay, so this is the output you will get. Have you understood it so far? I'll recap it, but after you come back from the break, 10 minutes break. Next one, the last one before the last one or two before your 10 minutes break. If I write now, I'm just writing it horizontally. If I say now B3 equal to null. Okay. So tell me first in the memory diagram, what will you show? How will you show that? I'm saying B3 equal to null. It's easy one. So what you do is take your eraser or something and here do the delinking. Okay. Because now B3 is associated. B3 is having the value of null. Sorry. It is initialized with null. And how can it hold the address also and the null value? So this is delinked. Done so far? Drawn it so far? Dereferencing. Yes, delinking. Remove the connection, remove the link. So now, obvious question. This time, don't give me a wrong answer, please. After that, if I call SOP B3 dot compute volume or that get volume, what will I get? Compile time error, runtime error, or output? Runtime error. NP is your null pointer exception. Are you getting this? So exception itself is runtime error. Exception is equal to runtime error. So null pointer exception is guaranteed. But that is not the question. The question is, listen to the question correctly and think over it in the 10 minutes upcoming break. If I ask you, listen to this carefully. If I ask you from the point of view of this particular object, tell me, are there any valid references referring to it? In short, let me see what you are saying because you already answered. Answer is no. So in short, is this accessible object or inaccessible object totally? Answer is inaccessible, unreachable object. But this is a classroom example, day 2 example. So how many bytes are stuck up here? So 8 3s are 24, 24 plus 4 or whatever class pointer bytes. So something like 28, 30 bytes. So not a big deal. But later when we are going to have object graphs and a huge, big complex applications and all that. This memory is totally vested. Nobody can use it. So if you are a C++ programmer, what is it you have to do in C++? If you want to release the memory, what is it you will have to do it? You have to free it. But you are not learning C++. What is the advantage of Java is the moment any object is inaccessible, this is when the garbage collection, this is where we start discussing the garbage collection. So here, what happens is anytime the number of references for a particular object reduced to 0, which is currently the case, this particular object is marked for, I'm giving you in writing, this particular object is marked for garbage collection. And what is that so-called garbage collection and what is that garbage collector thread and what really happens, we'll discuss after 10 minutes break. So what I'll do is I will save this and send it your way, the whiteboard which I have drawn so far. So if anyone has not drawn it, we'll have their copy. By the end of the day, anyway, I'll be putting it properly. So give me a second. Whiteboard for memory picks. I'll send you right away and then we'll take our 10 minutes break and we'll resume. Yes, it is limited. I've not even started the whole process discussions of it. So wait, answer to your question is by the way, yes. I'm sending you whiteboard memory pics, which is drawn so far. Let's have exactly 10 minutes break and resume in 10. See you in 10. Okay, welcome back. Let us resume whatever we were saying earlier. So I have, now you must be having the whiteboard picture also in front of you. And just to go through the thing in a quickest possible manner, the detailed revision, detailed questions, any additional doubts, of course, I'll be taking all of that in the lab. Because there we have got a lot of time and I can talk to you on a one-on-one basis also. So anyway, here, let me get my pointer. Here, when you say box 1, reference type of variable is memory allocated on the stack. And why on the stack? Because this is a method local variable which you have defined within a method. And all method local variables, whether it is a primitive type or whether it is a reference type, allocated on the stack. Right hand side creates the object. But since it is the first object which we are creating, what has to happen first? In the method area, box class gets loaded. And then its instance is created. And the object creation or instance creation happens in the heap. And only the memory is allocated on the heap to store the state of the object, which is nothing but non-static data members. Additionally, to refer to the loaded class information, it also stores a class pointer. And once this new keyword is, once this RHS is executed, new keyword, new operator returns the reference, the address of where this object is created. And since box1 is a reference type of variable, which can hold address, we had assigned it to box1. So initially it was box1 pointing to this box object. And once you have this understanding, from box1, we refer to object. From object, we get a reference to your class pointer, takes us to the method area. Method gets executed. But which the method will execute. So get box dimensions is common between box 1, box 2, box 3. All of them are the boxes. But every time when you say get box dimensions, it will work on this dot width, this dot depth, this dot height. Means current box dimensions. So let me ask you a question. When I say box1 dot get box dimensions, what is the value of this? What is the contents of this? What does it contain? No, CP1, CP2 is wrong. There's only one value of the class pointer. It is CP. It's not CP1 or CP2. Okay, class pointers. See, it is a label. I have not written it as a reference variable names. So class pointer CP is the convention which we follow. Yeah, so you are answering. This is referring to box 1. Absolutely right. And that is how you get the all the details. Now solve this particular line, solve the RHS first. The moment it is new box object, will JVM create another box object or not? C for create, N for not. Of course it will create. You are giving the order to the JVM to create another box instance. So this is what you saw here, another box object. As somebody was asking me whether should I call it as CP1, CP2. Don't do that confusion because ultimately both of them are referring to the same loaded class. So CP stands for class pointer. Don't get over extra confused. So here both of them are pointing to the same loaded class information and what it returns is now the reference to this box which we have allocated it to. Where is that? Yeah, B2. And now B2 starts pointing to the second box object. You got it? Next one. So when I say B2.get box dimensions, now I hope the story is clear. B2 refers to here, invokes the method from the loaded information, and now it will start displaying the dimensions of the B2 because this is now referring to B2. Or if you see this is nothing but what? Current object reference. And which is that current object reference you have is B2. So this should explain the things done so far. Now, when you assign the null value, you cannot assign 0 or anything else to the reference type of variable. All you can assign is null, or it can refer, or it can be equated to the right hand side can be new. Okay, so here I have assigned it to null. And as you already told me, the delinking takes place. So let me ask you, after we equate assign box1 equal to null, will there be any objects marked for garbage collection? I'll repeat my question again. I said, after this line is executed, how many objects will be marked for garbage collection? Answer is nothing will be marked. Why? Because, do you remember, there is a copy of the reference. So B3, by using B3, we can still reach our box. So it is not unreachable. It is not yet unreferenceable. Okay, so nothing happens. Only thing which happens is this is initialized to null. And of course, if you uncomment this, you will get your NPE, null pointer exception. So rest of the things were simple enough. We had stopped at this point. Now, if I say B3 equal to null, now there are the number of valid references for this object has reduced to 0. So the moment any object becomes unreachable, unreferenceable, immediately it is marked for garbage collection. Is it immediately gone, or is the space freed immediately from the memory? That is yet to be discussed. So when the number of references reduced to 0, that is where we start talking about another interesting fact of Java called as garbage collection. So since it is such an important concept, of course, in today's help, you will see the README for that regarding GC. GC is for garbage collection. So I'll highlight certain things, read it, and I'll explain line by line everything. But you first do the reading. Okay, so let's read it and understand it together. What is garbage collection? So first of all, read this. Garbage collection is only applicable to Java objects. It is not going to hit the stack. It is not going to hit the method area. It is only limited to the heap where the objects are kept. Objects are kept and created and kept. So garbage means in Java, unreachable, unreferenceable object. Point number 1. Now, when you say garbage collection, that is nothing but a process to mark, to identify, and later delete the objects from the heap so that whatever is the space, whatever are the number of bytes which are allocated for a particular unused object can return to the free memory pool, or can return to the free, can again return to the heap. So garbage collection frees the space after removing unreferenced objects. So do you have to, in Java, do you have to write something like free or remove or delete or any such things to trigger the garbage collection? Answer is no. It is an automatic garbage collection. And the whole idea is to avoid the memory leaks, memory holes. And even when you are creating lot of objects in the Java heap, and suppose they are not being used, you don't have to worry about releasing the memory. So be clear, what is your job and what is the JVM's job? Your job is create the objects, invoke the business logic, use the APIs. APIs means use the methods and everything. And the JVM job is, anytime any object becomes unreferenceable, unreachable, that object, removing that object or releasing the memory which is stuck up, which is blocked in that object, that job is JVM. So instead of course, this is a text description. I like to show with a diagram. So this is a diagrammatic view of it. So here, look at this carefully. Whenever you launch any application, How do you start a JVM? Command line invocation is Java followed by test or Java followed by create box or some such thing. Which are the two system threads JVM will create? Answer is in front of you. The two threads which are created by the JVM implicitly they are called as system threads. One is the main thread and one is the garbage collector thread. So are you creating these threads as the user? Answer is no. We will create our user defined threads, our own threads in the last topic of core Java, which is multi-threading. But these are the threads created by the JVM. I already told you yesterday the job of the main thread. What is the job of the main thread? This main thread searches for public static void main with string array arguments and starts the sequential execution of the main method. So job of the main thread is nothing but look for main method and starts its execution. So is it a foreground thread or is it a background thread? It is a foreground thread. Okay, it gets launched immediately. But in addition to that, parallel to that, there is a background thread, which is our today's interest, which is garbage collector. So now hear the words carefully. Garbage collection is a time-consuming process. So time-consuming process means what? Garbage collection takes a lot of time to clear these objects from the heap, to remove these objects from the heap. So tell me, if JVM gives the chance to the garbage collector thread often, very often, will your application's performance improve or will it worsen? I for improve, W for worsen. Improve, you are saying. Guys, just now, you are not understanding, I think, the English part of the statements I'm making. I said the garbage collection is a time-consuming process. And if you do it pretty often, all the time, will it worsen the performance? Will it reduce the performance or will it increase the performance? Of course, it will reduce the performance. So JVM is not done. So JVM will activate or JVM will give the chance to garbage collector thread if and only if it is required. So what is that requirement? The requirement is, see, when you launch the Java application, there is a default size around 32K. So the default size heap is already given. So now if the JVM sees that the heap is under the pressure, means the larger part of heap is getting more and more full, and you have to create, or your program is creating, application is creating more objects, then it will give a chance to garbage collector. And when the garbage collector gets a chance, where will garbage collector look at or where will it search? Your choices are SHM, stack, heap or method area. Where will it attack? It will go to heap and there it will check, are there any objects marked for garbage collection? So put 2 and 2 together, put things together and imagine that if suppose garbage collector gets a chance after B3 equal to null statement is executed. So tell me, is it going to find any objects which are marked for garbage collection? Answer is yes. And how many such objects? Is it 1 or is it 2? Answer is only 1 because this is not yet unreachable, right? So then whenever garbage collector gets a chance, then it will release the memory which is locked up by this unusable object. So the point of giving you the whole thing in writing as notes or reading material or study material is you should know this properly. So read this. JVM creates 2 system threads. You know about main thread already. And a garbage collector thread is called as the daemon thread. Don't ask me what is daemon thread. We will cover it in the multi-threaded applications. Multi-threaded topic. Think of it as a background thread. It is not going to run continuously. Otherwise, it will horribly affect your performance. So JVM will run it only if it is required, only if your heap is getting more and more full. So when the garbage collector thread gets a chance, it is going to release the memory occupied by unreferenced objects which are marked for the garbage collection. What I mean by that is the objects whose number of references have reduced to 0. So this is nothing but, again, this is a superficial. Superficial means day two level, this is sufficient. Because when you get into details, there is a proper garbage collection algorithm. So that algorithm, of course, I'm not discussing here. I'm just telling you the process of garbage collection. So let me ask you the question to check your clarity. So after this line is executed, B3 equal to null, which of the following is true? Option 1, first box object is marked for garbage collection. Option 2, this object is removed from the heap and the memory is released. Both of above, none of above. Answer is option 1 only. Both of above is wrong. Where there is a guarantee, guys, this is where we have got only 2 objects created. Wake up. Seriously, do you think your heap is under pressure just when there are 2 objects in the heap? Of course not. So in most of the cases, JVM doesn't bother giving a chance to the garbage collection, to the garbage collector thread. So here you can confidently say, people ask you in CCEE, I mean modulate exam and the interviews and all, they give you a piece of code, very popular exam question, and they ask you how many objects will be marked for garbage collection. They won't ask you whether it is collected or not, because it is all internal to JVM. So this is the only question can be marked for garbage collection. So now let me write something ahead and let me ask you another question. Let's say B2 equal to the, it's an easy one. So don't worry. So I'm not asking you any tough questions. So let me ask my question. When this line is executed, how many objects are marked for garbage collection in the heap, from the heap? Exactly 1. And after this line is executed, how many objects are marked totally? Answer is 2. How do you say this? How do you show this? You know the answer. Remove this link, dereference it, delink it. So now this guy, the second box object, is also marked for the garbage collection, but whether it is going to hit, whether it is going to immediately get released from the memory, that depends on the internal JVM's algorithm. Okay, in most of the cases, it won't happen. So all you need to know really from the developer's point of view is when a particular object gets marked for garbage collection. There are 3 different triggers. You have seen 1 out of 3. So the triggers, okay, so I have written in that. So triggers for marking the object for garbage collection, the answer is nullifying all the valid references. Example always speaks better. So take a look at this. I'll give you a minute to read it. I'm going to ask you a question, so read it properly. This is a very popular question. Identify, mention explain the triggers for garbage collection. So that is what it is. Okay, so start. When now don't relate it to your my earlier whiteboard. Just think fresh. So when this line is executed, how many references, how many objects? Tell me. 1 each. 1 reference on the stack. Of course, this gets called. 1 box class gets loaded, object created. 1 each is a very right answer. Tell me, when this line is executed, how many total references, how many total objects in the heap? 2 references, 1 object. Perfectly correct answer. So is it a copy of references or is it a copy of objects? R or O? Answer is copy of references. Copy of objects is wrong. Okay, so here, what is the memory picture? B1 and B2, both are pointing to the same box, holding the values 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Everyone with me so far? Okay, now solve the last line. When I say B1 equal to B2 equal to null, It is write associative. Means what? Here, first it will execute B2 equal to null. Okay. So this line, if it is executed, how many objects are marked for garbage collection? Only this line, B2 equal to null. Wake up. 0. Because B1 is still validly referring to the object yet. But now when this part is executed, B1 gets the value of B2, which is null. So now, how many references are dealing? Both the references are gone. And then box object is marked for garbage collection. Understood each and every word of what I said? Got it? The next trigger. 2 triggers you will understand now. Later in the lab session and all with a lot of examples you'll understand. So here, the another trigger is reassigning the reference. So go through it for a minute. I'll ask you. Okay, so guys, don't treat it as a continuation of earlier code. Think fresh. So start. When this line is getting executed, okay, how many references, how many objects, please? 1 each. Everyone gets it? You should visualize B1 pointing to the box object 10.0, 20.0, 30.0. Now see this. So after this line is executed, tell me how many objects and how many references. I have not yet asked anything else. So the reference is only 1, but how many objects are there? 2 objects. Guys, it is not difficult at all. You just see how many times I have called new? 2 times. So 1 reference, 2 objects. But tell me guys, can 1 reference hold the address of both the objects? No. So earlier, B1 was pointing to the box object having the values 10, 20, 30. Now this B1 is reassigned to refer to which box object holding which values? 2, 3, 4. So what is the fate of this poor first box object? Is it marked for garbage collection? 100% yes, because you have reassigned B1 to refer to yet another box object. So that is what is the another trigger for garbage collection. And then there are further 2 triggers, which I'll explain in time, proper time. So I hope you understood the first 2. Nullify all possible valid references belonging to an object. And otherwise, even if you do the reassignment, of course, it will definitely cause marking an object for the garbage collection. Others at proper time. You'll get a lot of like practice examples, practice samples and all to understand it inside out. Now coming back to the point. Who is going to manage this garbage collection process automatically? Programmer or JVM? P or J? JVM. But is there any way to request from the programmer, can I request that please do the garbage collection? Okay, so answer is yes. And there is a method. These are typical popular questions. Okay, so what is that method? It is a method of the system class. Everyone knows system class. Open the Java docs, please. When you log in, first thing in the morning is in one of the browser tabs, you should keep the Java docs open. So when I say open Java docs, you should not be confused looking here and there what she's saying and all that. I don't want that confusion. Okay, so open the Java docs and search for your system class. So you'll see java.lang.system. System class has your in, out, error, all those static data members. Yesterday somebody was asking, is there an exit method? So system.exit exists. So today I'm showing you another method. Look for a method GC. So this GC is nothing but runs the garbage collector. But read the description. Calling the GC method suggests. Suggest means request. It is a hint. Is it an order or is it a request? Answer is it is a request. So in worst cases, in some cases, your JVM may ignore your request. In most of the cases, yes, it will obey the request. But while answering the questions and all, it is simply a request made from the application to the JVM that please run your garbage collector thread. Please activate your garbage collector thread. This is what I've said. So here, if you see, it is simply a request to the JVM for activating, for running garbage collection. And at that time, of course, garbage collector will search into the heap, look for the marked objects which are marked for garbage collection, and then it will run its own internal garbage collection algorithm to remove the objects, to remove the memory occupied by the objects and releases to the free memory pool. And the associated topic, this you will not understand today totally. For that, you have to understand inheritance, the protected access specifier, and something called as method overriding. So all these things are ahead of topic, but as a to give the completion to the simple half or first half of it is anytime a garbage collector thread is about to destroy. Destroy means about to release, remove the object from the heap. There is one method it will always call. So the popular question is, which is the method called by the garbage collector before destroying, before releasing the memory from the heap? That method name is finalize. But there are so many aspects of it that even if I try to explain, you'll not get it. So we talk about finalize, we actually override it and we use it in our code and all that just for understanding, but little later after 2 days. So this is your first look or first half of your garbage collection, and that is sufficient as far as day 2 is concerned. So this is what I wanted to tell you. You don't have to worry. You don't have to bother about cleaning up of the memory or releasing the memory, locked into the unused objects. There is a garbage collector thread or automatic garbage collection which will do the needful. So this is your Java object lifecycle. So Java objects are created by programmer of course by JVM, but when the programmer uses the new keyword, you have to create the Java object. But the end of life of Java object is garbage collection, and that is done automatically by the JVM. So there are various aspects of it, but that we will cover in the, as and when we progress into inheritance, polymorphism, and exception handling and all that. So this is what I wanted to say. So just tell me, at least can everyone identify from given piece of code how many objects are marked for garbage collection? That is the only important point of today. Has everyone understood that part? Okay. So now let's continue. I've said so many things. So some of them I'll just show you through the example because I already explained and said a lot of time, and I need some time to get you started with the packages. So here, let me write something now. Now you know the whole story. So I don't think you require further help. So let me write something. No comments this time. No comments means I'll not tell you what. You will tell me. So it could be a little different. So box 2. Okay. So tell me, at this point in time, when this line is executed, are there any objects marked for garbage collection? Answer is none. How many objects are created on the heap? 2 objects. One is the object having the values 4.0, 5.0, whatever, and one is whatever user gives me. Okay. Now, so here I'll just say. So here you know the whole story. So what will be the output from this line? Easiest answer, easiest question. 4, 5, 6, as in 4.0, 5.0, 6.0. Nothing complex, nothing difficult. Okay, I'll try to stick to around whatever I've written. Tell me, is it copy of references or copy of objects? Answer is copy of references. Okay, so how many objects and how many references? You all know 3 references, 2 objects. And if I say, for example, you're supposed to, why I'm writing this, so that when you reach the lab, you reach lab earlier before I join, you can revise all of this. And based on that, I'm going to give you assignments. So here, tell me, the output which you will get from this line, will it be same as this statement, same or different? Answer is 100% same. Because whether you are accessing the object via box 1 or whether you are accessing it via box 3, it is pointing to the same object. So you'll get the same output. You'll see. I'll just give some box 3's dimensions. So, and here I'll say, so whenever you are running, the output should tell you what is it. Box 1 dimensions. Okay. Concatenated. Now, next one. Okay, say let me do it in the shortest possible manner. Box 3 equal to null. So tell me, after this line is executed, how many objects are marked for garbage collection? You can say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Somebody said 0. Look at this. Read the statement. So box 3 is also nullified. Box 1 is also nullified. So is there any valid reference pointing to the first box object? Answer is no. So answer is here 1, not 0. Okay. And of course, if you try to do, if you try to do this again, tell me what will happen at this point. Compiler error or runtime error? Answer is runtime error, which is your null pointer java.lang. I'm giving it in a package name. The package name is java.lang. From that, the exception is null pointer exception. Okay, so this is what 100% you will get. So let us confirm this much, and then I'm adding a SOP here. So you'll know whether whatever I'm saying is correct or not. So tell me quickly, guys, are you going to see this output main over? It's a Boolean question. Yes or no? Are you going to see main over or are you not? Answer is no. Because the code, the moment you have an exception, the moment there is a runtime error, will the code continue its execution or will it not? Will it get aborted? Answer is code will get aborted, which is what I want to convince you. I want to show you. Okay. So confirm. I'm saying don't open command prompts. Already there is one open. So don't waste time in such things. And just say the up arrow key. So you can, I don't have to type all the things then. So I have compiled it. Go to bin folder. I could have done that also. What was that? Create box. And here, let's say some dimensions. Here, and observe and conclude. So see this. Box 1 is having the dimensions 11, 12, 13. Whatever is the computed volume. Another box object with its own dimensions. So these are the 2 distinct objects. You have seen it in the memory diagram. Whether you access the box dimensions using box 1 type of reference or box 3, ultimately they are pointing to the same state, same object. So obviously output is, same output. And like we predicted, anytime you are trying to access any data member or any method, data members I could not show you because they are all private, but methods are not private. So the moment I tried to call, I got a null pointer exception, and that line number 23 is nothing but, which is the line which is getting us this exception, is nothing but box1.getBox dimensions. Understood completely? Because some of you are saying differently when I was explaining. Okay, so this is the line which has produced your null pointer, and naturally the code cannot continue. So here, if you want the code to continue, of course, and you want to see the main over, you will have to comment that, and then of course it will close the scanner, and then it will display the output as main over. So that much you can try. So this is what was I wanted to just introduce to you all the working of or the concept of class programming, classes, objects, state, behavior, and the important concept of memory pictures. What exactly happens when you say new? What is that stack, heap, and method area, along with little bit understanding of garbage collection. So this was the one of the important motives. And I know the less time is remaining, but at least I will get you started. Otherwise, we end up, otherwise important advanced topics, then I have to hurry, and which I don't want to. So now answer the question here. Just a second, I'll just save it. Till now, whatever code we have written, we have not written too many this. Have we written these classes within the user-defined packages, or packages are not yet created? Answer the question, please. Have you written any package classes or not? Answer is we have not yet started with packages. So looking at the time, and in the lab session also, I'll give you the requirements and you will create it with me, so there's no confusion. So here, enter the packages. So before you start any topic, you have to know why. So I'll just explain. I'll show you the steps in next 10 minutes, and that is where we stop. So in the today's help, there is another readme regarding packages. Separate notes, because otherwise it becomes too much together. So read this much and I'll explain. Okay, so let's start reading it and understanding it together. First basic question, what is a package? Package is nothing but a holder, container, a module. Okay, module has a different meaning, so scratch that. So collection of functionally similar classes, later interfaces, enums, exceptions, and all of that. So functionally similar types, we put it together under one package. English word package. Package contains the similar stuff. So if you recall, Java has already distributed the runtime library within the packages. So which are the packages you have already used? Implicit default package is java.lang, and the other package you have used for scanner is java.util. So now what is it we are doing? We are going to start from this point onwards. Anytime you write a code, you will be writing it with understanding, of course, within our own packages. So in short, we are starting with creation of user-defined package. So you need to understand why why people force you, or why people recommend you should always write the package classes. So here the requirement is to group the functionally similar entities, classes, interfaces all together. So that is one. And if you write in the same folder, such as day2bin, test.class, you cannot have duplicate class name. How can you store two test.class in the same package? But if there are two programmers working in the same project, let's say programmer 1, programmer 2, programmer 1 can create her own test.java and compile it into test.class. P2, programmer 2 can create his own package, package P2, and create test class. So this allows you to create the duplicate class names, but they should be stored in a different package. And once you understand packages, then you can understand, or then you get a better control with your access specifiers. So because of all these reasons, we definitely here onwards, like I said, anytime you write the code, I'll tell you exactly. I'll give you in writing. What is it I expect from you? You will be writing any Java classes within our own packages. Here, this is why I asked you not to use ID. Because with STS ID, the moment you say the wizard create a class, it just asks you the package name and all that, and you don't understand a word or what is happening internally. So after this exercise, Monday, maybe an hour or so I'll spend on this additionally, and then we are going to resume or we are going to join the ID again. So if there is no ID, can I still create a package? Of course, yes. So which is the keyword for creating a package? The keyword itself is package. So can you have, okay, let me place it this way. This is your typical syntax. What is the norm for creating package names? Should it be uppercase, lowercase, or camel case? Answer is no. Typically, package names are all lowercase. Okay. So here, package P1 means packages in Java are completely mapped to folders. So if I keep the package name as P1, where should be those package classes? Under which folder they should be? What should be the name of the folder? Simple question. Of course, P1. And where will it be? Under SRC or under bin? The dot class files are of course under bin. In SRC, we will write the Java source, but the dot class files will be compiled under bin, P1 and the code. You got that? So this is what we will be doing. So the classes, whatever classes you write after that will automatically be the part of package P1. So, okay. So where should this package P1 statement should come? At the top of the source file, or can it come anywhere? Answer that. Answer is it must be the first statement. But guys, if you observe, we have not written. Okay, let me open this. If you see, is there any package statement mentioned here? Answer is no. So what is the value of the default package? It is anonymous. Anonymous means nameless. There's no name. So when you don't mention the package name is missing. It is anonymous, no package name. That is what we are going to change, and we are going to add a package name to it. You'll see it with the example. So it has to be, like you said correctly, at the top of the source file. Next one. Package names are mapped to the folder names. So here, when you say package P1, and after that, if you write a class C, I'm going to write an example in 2 minutes and then call it a day. So what is the rule is, the class A.class should exist under the folder P1. But I'm going to teach you the way your IDE works. Whether it is an IntelliJ or whether it is Eclipse or whether it is NetBeans, they work in the same manner. So for the convenience, we will create. We means since there's no IDE today, we will create. And when you resume with IDE, IDE will create the folders automatically. So we will create the package folder under SRC and we will compile the source file from SRC. So compilations should be always done from SRC for convenient purpose. So what it will be, javac -d, /bin is the same. But now guys, your a.java, example.java will be under the package folder. So you will have to be a little bit careful. So I'll give you practice in the lab. I'll show you first here and then I'll take the practice in the lab. So this is what will be requirement. I'm going to do it. And the beauty of Java compiler is the moment it sees the package statement, what it is going to do is it is automatically going to create a folder under the bin with the same package name and your a.class will be compiled. So this is how we compile the package classes. And once the compilation is done, the second step is what? Run the package class. So how to run the package class? Today, looking at time, I'll not explain class path. Class path I'll explain on Monday. So the question and the answer. How to launch, as in run, package Java classes. So you just have to change the directory to bin. And after Java, Now, what is it we were saying so far? We were saying give the name of the class containing the main method. So now there is a formal answer. The answer is fully qualified class name. What is the meaning of fully qualified class name? Package name dot class name. And once you say Java, package name is, let's say, P1. Class name is, let's say, A. JVM's class loader will search under the folder P1 and load the Java class, and then it will start the execution. When I only say things, they sound complex. So in next 2 minutes, I'll create a simple package class and will compile and test it and stop here. So those who are working with me, parallelly coding along, follow the folder structure. So where are we? We are under, this is my workspace. I'm under day 2. I'm under SRC. So suppose requirement is, I want to create, let's say, I want to create a package with the name of tester and create a source file there, test package. So does anyone want to tell me which is the subfolder I should create under SRC? What should be the name of the subfolder? Tester is the name of the subfolder. So here, right click, new. Guys, all these efforts are taken by the ID. But if you don't understand it, you won't be able to answer any questions. So create a folder, tester. Okay. And here, let us create a simple, ordinary tester. So here, now start telling me. I'll give you the objective. The objective is create a packaged class, compile, and test it. That's all we are doing. So anyone wants to tell me what should be the first statement? Do it a little faster so we don't extend any this. What should be the first statement here now? Package tester. Can you create the nested packages such as tester.tester2.tester3? Of course, yes. But that exercise, I'll get it solved in the lab session. So here, package. And please, guys, don't give the package names because they are going to map to folder names in a camel's case style manner. Give it all lowercase. So package tester. Then write the class name. So let me call it as test package. And here, since I want to execute it also, let me add that main method. And today, looking at time, all I'm going to say is, welcome to packages. Okay. And here, I'm just saving it. So here, where should I save it? Under day 2 SRC, there's a subfolder tester. See, keep eyes open when I'm discussing it in so much detail. Otherwise, you make so many mistakes in the lab session. Yesterday, I was observing. So under tester, and here, open the, what do you say, quotes, double quotes, and I just copied that test package .java. So what will it be saved as? .java or .java.text? The moment you put it in the quotes will be .java only. So I'm saving this. And so this is done. This is a 2-liner code. Other than this package tester, there's nothing complex about it. Go to the command prompt. Should I compile it from bin folder or SRC folder? Stupid question, but still I'm asking. Should you compile it from SRC or bin? Of course, SRC. Whether it is a package class or not, you will be compiling it from SRC. So how do you compile? This portion is the same. Okay. And if I say here, what is the name? Test package. After I press enter, error or no error? Answer is error. Which error? Tell me. Will it find this source file or will it not? Answer is it won't find Because guys, check the folder structure. When I say open the folder explorer, file explorer, this is what I mean. Our file is not under SRC. It is under the tester folder. So how will you use it here? You will have, okay, just check whether it is, it will simply throw you out. It will tell you, I can't find, it means compiler is telling you, I can't find your file. Okay. So how do you correct? Here you have to supply the name of the folder, which is same as name of the package. So I'm saying tester and test package.java. Are you getting this? So now since it was a 2-liner code, it has compiled. Is everyone 100% clear how to compile package Java class? Simple enough? Okay. So 1/2 is done. Now last 2 minutes. So here, where do you run it from? So before you understand the concept of the class path, you have to go to the top of the package hierarchy. So where are these package classes created? Under bin. So let me not tell you anything blindly. You observe. Okay. So see the folder, see the path. pgdac day 2. I'm going to bin. And what is it you are observing? Is there any test package class right here? Or is there a folder automatically created? Guys, packages are mapped to folders. So of course there is a tester folder and package folder, and this is where your class is. You understood? Because when I give you the instructions in the lab, people don't understand instructions sometimes. So I'm taking extra care today, learning from yesterday. Okay, so this is. Now you just go to your bin folder as it is. And last line of today. How do you execute? How do you launch a package Java class? Start with your command line invocation, followed by fully qualified name of the class containing the main method. So anyone wants to tell me, answer the last question. What is that fully qualified class name? Here slash will not work. The package separator is a dot. Folder separator is a slash, guys. Don't feel bad. Typically, I get the wrong answer. So don't worry. You are just one of them. So here, what is the folder separator? Slashes. What is the package separator? Dots. So what is the package name, guys? Tester. There should be dot here. And what is the name of the class? The test package. Okay. So when you press enter, which is the first block of your JVM? Class loader. So JVM's class loader will translate this package name to folder name. In simple English, it will search under bin. Is there a folder tester? Yes, it will find. And from that, it will load your test package class. And then the execution will begin. So this was a very quick look at entering packages. I'll give you much more practice and many more examples in the lab session. So this is where I'm stopping. So before I stop, are there any urgent questions? Detailed questions, please wait in the lab. I'm there with you in the lab session like yesterday. Okay, I am not there for the full lab session, but yes, I mean around 3 o'clock onwards, I definitely 3:30 I'll join. So, but before that, you understood something at least? Anyway, think over it and we'll meet again in the lab session. I'll upload each and everything and give you clear-cut instructions. Thanks, Ankit. Tester folder in bin created, yes, automatically. Rohit, when you say that Java C -D, it automatically does the magic. So answer to your question is yes. Okay, so go over all the things and we'll be together and we'll be solving, revising, solving and everything all together. See you around, guys. See you in the lab session. You're most welcome, all of you.